I need you to pretend you don't know anything about your family for rating purposes. That better not be true.
On this episode of Who Do You Think You Are, we explore Christina Howe's boring past. She will uncover no cool discoveries, no controversies, and no scandals. But she will search for the truth about a questionable name change. You probably know her as the weird one with the shoes and turtle backpack, but Christina Howe is also a future college dropout, unlicensed panhandler, Helena Bonham Carter fanatic, and a small-town nobody. She has recently made the decision to major in art and run her life into the ground.
My name is Christina Howe, and I haven't done anything with my life. I'll probably go to college and get my butt kicked, maybe drop out. After that, I'll probably live with my parents until I die. My parents are Pam and Ron Howe, and my mom's maiden name is Cook. They both basically grew up in Massachusetts, mostly in Abington. I also have a sister, but who really cares about her, right? There have been no tragedies in my life, so I guess it doesn't really matter which side I research. What? Flip a coin? I don't have a... Thanks. Ready? Oh, I forgot to say which side was heads and which side was tails. Anyway, heads, I'll go with my dad's side. Tails will be my mom's side. Heads. I guess I'm researching my dad's side. So what I know about my dad's side is that they're all from England. They're all like white baby breeding machines. It's crazy. Like 90% of them are from English. I'm like the whitest person you could ever meet. They all got married and had kids, like as many kids as they could, because who knows, if one dies, then out of luck. That's not funny. There's a rumor that my great-grandfather, my dad's mom's dad, missed the Titanic by an hour. So I'd like to see if that's true or not. It'd be really interesting to see if one of my family members has been a part of something like historic. I've also noticed a pattern in my family that most of the last names that we have are actually words, such as Howe, Cook, Moore, Gay, and Swan. So I'd like to see if there are any other family names that are actually words, because that would be I think it would be cool to find out, see if all of my family names are actually words. It would be extremely interesting to find some crazy story in my family's history, or something cool like I'm related to Alice Paul or Frederick Douglass. What I'm looking for in my ancestry search is where I came from. Because right now I'm entirely English and there's not much spunk with the English. They're all, hey, pip pip cheerio, tea and biscuits, fish and chips, proper. It would be really cool to find something fun in my family. Something that not many people can say that their family was a part of. Let's start this journey. So, Dad, tell me about your side of the family.
Well, we're the left side of the family. Because we just ain't right. Do you have any other questions?
So is the word left in our family history? Is our family name actually left?
No, we're left out of a lot, though.
That's true. I don't get invited to parties. So, father, your father is Wallace Abbott Howe.
Correct.
And your mother is Eleanor Caroline Howe.
Yep.
Do you know who Grandpa's father is?
My grandpa's father or your grandpa's
My
father?
grandpa's father.
Your grandpa's father.
Grandpa Hap.
Grandpa Howe. My Grandpa Howe, then. Norman.
Norman?
Norman.
Who's Norman?
Norman is...
Your father's.
Norman. That's a witty word.
See what I have to live with? So, who are Grandpa's parents?
Your grandpa's parents.
Who are my Grandpa's parents?
My grandpa and grandma.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So, Hap, Wallace Abbott Howe's father...
Is Norman Tyrrell Howe.
Tyrrell, not Tyrell.
Tyrrell.
Like, not the Tyrells from Game of Thrones.
No.
Tyrrell.
Tyrrell.
And his mother was...
Wallace's mother was Ruth Elizabeth Lees Howe.
Lees?
Lees was her maiden name.
Lees as in like a house lease? Like a lease you have to take out on the house?
No, that's a lease. Her last name was Lees.
Lees?
Lees, Lees. In fact, they used to call her Fleas at school when she was a schoolgirl.
Lees?
Lees has fleas.
Lease? Unbelievable. And your mother's, Eleanor Caroline Swan's father was...
Alfred John Swan.
her mother was,
Gladys.
Right.
And I believe her maiden name was Boyd.
How far back do you know about our family, your family?
Oh, about way back.
Way back? Way back when?
Way back when. Well, as far as my mother's parents, that's about as far back as I know, because I really don't know much about either of their parents.
And
But I believe
how about
they
Wallace's?
Well, Wallace's grandfather was Richie Tyrrell Howe. He was married to Mary Howe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you know anything more than that, or is that...
Well, they used to operate a white slave ring. Oh, wait, no, that was that different.
Mm. So what was Norman like?
Norman was stoic. No nonsense at all. Nothing like me.
Not at all.
Nothing. No nonsense.
Mm.
All business.
His wife's name was...
Ruth.
Ruth. What was Ruth like?
Ruth was a scamp. I think she liked to have fun. She had a mischievous side when she was younger. She was very proper when she was older.
Mm-hmm.
But she would have a soft spot for those of us that were into mischief. Which is probably why she adored you so much.
So she was cool, and he was stoic. And then there's Grammy's side. What were they like?
Grandpa Swan was even more mischievous. He liked to play jokes on people.
Mm-hmm. And Gladys?
She baked bread, really good bread, and really good cookies too.
This has been enlightening, and I wrote down so many notes. Kind of. So, I am going to start my journey. How do you feel about this?
Start with your left foot,
Left foot?
because you're not right either.
Okay.
And just put one foot in front of the other.
And soon I'll be walking out the door.
That's right.
Bye. Oh, I stepped with the right foot first! No!
Cut!
So now I'm going to my grandparents' house to see if they can tell me anything more about my great-grandparents. I don't know, like, anything about them. There's also a rumor that my great-grandfather was on the Titanic, or was supposed to be on the Titanic, so I want to see if they can confirm that. Meow! Hopefully, they'll know something. So, Grandpa, your parents were Ruth Lees and Norman Tyrrell Howe?
Yes.
Do you know who their parents were?
David and Nettie Lees, Mary and Richie Howe.
Where did they live? Do you know?
No, the Howes lived in Weymouth, and the Lees family at the time lived in Abington.
Do you know who your great-grandparents were?
Only on Dave and Nettie's side, it was Alfred and I can't think of her name. And my grandmother, Alfred Gay, and I honestly, she was just great grandma.
Do you know what Norman your father had for, like, a job?
We started out with a store in Abington.
Oh, that was the,
our brothers,
Right. And he opened it with Winston, his brother?
with his brother Winston.
Of course.
And when the Depression hit, he had to get a store folded, and he went to work for, can't think of the name of it.
Westinghouse?
No, it wasn't Westinghouse then. Oh, jeez, I can't think of the name of it. Out in Hyde Park,
Okay.
they built turbines. It ended up being Westinghouse Electric.
Nice.
He worked there for about a little over 19 years.
Cool. Did Ruth have a job? She was a teacher, wasn't she?
Ruth was a school teacher, mostly substitute teacher because they didn't hire married women at that time.
And didn't someone say she graduated at 16?
She graduated from high school at 16.
Wow. That's unbelievable. So she was a substitute teacher in Whitman?
No, she was a substitute all over, but while I was growing up, she, in my early years, she was working at a country day school in Randolph.
And then she ended up being like a Latin teacher somewhere?
And then she did some substitution, and during the war, she got called at various locations to cover people. And then she ended up working for Whitman Hanson as a Latin teacher.
Is that what you're typing?
So Grammy, your side came from England, right? John, Alfred?
My father's side, yes.
His name was Alfred John,
Yes.
and then your mother was
Gladys.
Gladys Boyd, I think.
Boyd. Gladys
Okay.
Josephine Boyd.
So there's a rumor that Alf was supposed to be on the Titanic,
Yeah.
and then, do you know if that's true?
As far as I know, it is.
Really? So like, my ancestor could have been a part of something historic, and then we wouldn't exist.
You're right.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I'm glad he missed it.
Wow. That's amazing. When did he come to America? In 1912? Because he missed the Titanic, or did he have to wait a few years?
No, he came in 1912. He was 12 years old, almost
Wow.
13.
Unbelievable. Wow. Can you imagine coming to America? Was he alone?
He was alone. Actually, his parents came over here first to get jobs, and then they sent for the children 2 at a time. And he was the last one. He was supposed to come with another sister, but she became ill and died before,
Oh, wow.
so he had to come by himself.
When did he meet Gladys?
I don't know exactly when, but my mother was a friend of his sister. And that's how she met him.
How many siblings did he have?
He had 5 sisters and 1 brother, but his brother was born over here.
Do you know anything about his parents?
My grandparents?
Yes.
Caroline was my grandmother, and John was my grandfather. I don't remember too much about my grandfather because he died when I was probably around 10. They lived in Lynn, so we had to travel to Lynn to see them, so we didn't really see them that often.
So Gladys was your mother.
Yes.
Do you know who her parents were?
Her name was Eleanor, and my grandfather's name was James.
Did Gladys have any siblings?
She had 2 sisters,
What were their names?
Faustina.
That's interesting.
She died in a fire.
Wow.
She was studying to be a nurse, and she took the rubbish out with the rubbish on fire, and her clothes caught fire, and she died. And her other sister was Wilma. She was the younger one. Okay, I have some pictures of these people.
Wow. Well, let's see them. Wow. Sure. This is so cool.
I never finished that, so I still got a lot to do. But this is me as a baby,
Nice.
and that's my mother and father.
Wow.
That's my mother.
Nice.
Oh, this is her grandmother. Okay, I never knew her.
I like the parrot on her shoulder. That's good. There's a lot of pictures in here.
That's as far as I got.
Well, I have a lot to work with. So, that concludes it, I guess. I don't know. If I need more, I'll come back. Okay, bye.
Bye.
That was extremely eye-opening for me. My grandparents said a lot, and they gave me a lot to work off of. So that was really cool. My grandmother firmly believes that my great-grandfather was supposed to be on the Titanic. She said that what made it true was that her mother also said that he was supposed to be on the Titanic, and she was very stern and serious. So maybe he was. Yeah, nice blinker, idiot! Use their blinker! I think this journey is gonna take me a lot of places. Maybe not to England because I'm broke and I can't travel to England, but it's gonna take me pretty far. I'm gonna learn who I am through this. I just can't wait to see what I find out. This is gonna be fun. I'm pretty sure I have enough information to get started. So this is what I have so far on my dad's side. My father is Ronald Howe, Ronald David Howe. His parents are Eleanor Caroline Swan and Wallace Abbott Howe. He has two sisters, Patty and Kim. They all grew up in Abington. Wallace's parents are Norman Terrell Howe and Ruth Lees. Eleanor's parents are John Alfred Swan and Gladys Boyd. My grandfather Wallace had a brother named Winston. No, shoot. I know my grandmother Eleanor had a sister Bernice, a brother Roy, and a brother John. My grandfather had a brother named Winston. No, damn it. Gladys's mother's name was Caroline Swan. John's mother's name was Eleanor. Wallace's brother's name is Winston. No. I don't know. No, Norman's brother's name was Winston. I have it written down in my notes. So now I'm going to get started with my research. Step into my office. I'm going to start by searching for my great-grandfather, Norman Terrell Howe, on Ancestry. I'm not having much luck on Ancestry, but... Oh wait, hold on. Wow. I just found a record of Norman Terrell Howe's Mason card. This is awesome. This is amazing. It says here that he lived at 149 Walnut Street. That's interesting. I live in Walnut Street. I have to go check this out. I can't believe I've been living, like, basically next door to where my ancestors lived. I'm gonna go find this house. I need to. This is my house. Isn't it amazing that the search for who I am led me back home? That's amazing. This is just unbelievable. You know, there's something to learn from this. There's something. I can never walk these hallways the same again. Like, this is where they walked. This is where my family walked. And now I'm here. And maybe in 70 years or 100 years from now, my great-grandkids will walk here and think of me. This is amazing. This is unbelievable. This is absolutely unbelievable. It's just wow. My family told me that my grandmother's father's name was Alfred John Swan, but when I checked the census records, he's listed as John Alfred Swan. The names got mixed up, and I'm thinking that they got mixed up because everyone called him Alf, and his father's name was also John, so they called him Alf to differentiate him from his father, and I'm guessing that they just got mixed up and people started thinking that his name was actually Alfred. Or my grandparents have Alzheimer's. I was digging deeper and I found that on all the English census records, John Alfred Swan's name is actually John Alfred Needham, and his father's name is John Thomas Needham. And then his father's name is Alfred Needham. And then when John Thomas Needham came to America, he changed his name from John Thomas Needham to John Thomas Swan. And he's listed on Ancestry as John Thomas Needham Swan. And then his whole family is changed their name from Needham to Swan. So I'm just trying to figure out why that happened. I made an unbelievable discovery. I found my great-grandfather's immigration records, and it's entirely possible for him to have missed the Titanic. Like, this is unbelievable. This is amazing. So here it says that the ship, here it says that the ship he was on departed April 16th, 1912. Like, how close is that to the Titanic? Holy crap. This is unbelievable. He departed from Liverpool on the SS Laconia? And he's listed as John Alfred Swan, not Alfred John Swan. He was traveling at the age of 11, going from England to America at the age of 11, alone. And it says here that he was on a merchant ship with 2 other passengers. How unbelievable is that? That's amazing. Can you imagine coming to America as an 11-year-old alone with 2 other people that you don't even know? This is unbelievable. It's amazing. Wow. That's pretty cool. Eureka! So earlier I couldn't find a reason why my great-great-grandfather changed their names. And I finally figured it out. My great-grandfather was a wise guy. He had to get it from somewhere. So he got that gene from his father, and his father was a wise guy. So he knew that someone would be researching our ancestry at some point. It's inevitable. Everyone's curious about their history. And he changed the name to confuse the crap out of us. That's why they changed their name from Needham to Swan. On top of that, I couldn't find a 1930 census for my other great-grandfather, Norman. But I know why. He was captured by aliens. And that's why he wasn't on the 1930 census. And that's why our family is so weird. My biggest discovery has to be the fact that, well, I didn't discover something. I never discovered a death record for any of my relatives. I mean, I found obituaries, but no actual record. So I found this out. They're not dead. They're still alive somewhere. Like, I have to go find them. That's another journey, though. This is unbelievable. Here I thought I wouldn't find anything about my family. Like, they're all English and proper and they're just boring people. But then I find one of my ancestors was abducted by aliens. None of them are actually dead. And my great-great-grandfather knows how to rock. I'd say this was a pretty good journey for me. And on top of all that, I found out that I'm not just English, I'm also Canadian and Irish and Scottish. So I'm still the whitest person you could ever meet. I found some unbelievable things. Like, my great-grandfather did in fact miss the Titanic. And he traveled to America when he was 11, alone. That's unbelievable. None of my relatives are dead. I think I found out who I am. I'm not just some white baby breeding machine. I'm a psycho white baby breeding machine. And my ancestors weren't as dull as I thought they were. Maybe one day my great, great, great grandkids will research me and think, what a dull person she is. But they'll never really know me. Nobody ever really knows me. Nobody.